My dad sends money from overseas for my college tuition, but my mom has been secretly gambling it away and using my enrollment fees to pay her debts. So when I was about to lose my spot, I finally told Dad the truth, and now she's threatening that they'll separate. Posted by you/Min. Loves. The. Sceneryy. Hi, this is my first post, sorry if it's a bit messy. I, 20F, have always supported my mom, 43F, even financially, and I usually try to understand her side. My dad, 44M, works overseas and sends money twice a month for groceries, bills, and school. He usually sends it to my mom, who then distributes it. Earlier this month, my dad came home after working abroad for 6 months. He had all our expenses mapped out, including my tuition since I'm an incoming second-year aeronautical engineering student, which is really expensive where I live. He gave my mom around $1,000 for my enrollment fee, and that is like 60% of the whole tuition fee. What my dad didn't know was that I still had a $350 balance from my previous semester. My mom used part of the $1,000 for that balance, and I agreed not to tell my dad because I trusted she'd figure out a way to cover the rest. Fast forward to last week, I finished my documents, reserved my enrollment, and was waiting for the tuition payment. That's when I found out my mom had already used the remaining money for reasons she won't explain. She's been trying to recoup it, but nothing has come through. Prior to that, she told me she'll never touch my enrollment money since it'll be hard to recover. Today is the last day of late enrollment. If my tuition isn't paid by 6 p.m., I lose my slot. I've already missed 2 weeks of classes, including major and lab subjects, and I completely broke down. I told my mom I'm tired of always having to compromise because she borrows or misuses money. I told her if this continues, I'll have no choice but to tell my dad everything, not just about my tuition, but also about her gambling and borrowing habits I've helped cover up for years. The problem is, if I tell him, my parents will have a huge fight and he'll never trust her with money again. But I'm exhausted, and now my education is on the line. Am I the jerk if I finally tell my dad the truth? Relevant comments. Commenter 1, first of all, I'm sorry you're in this situation. Honestly, I know it's difficult supporting someone when you know you shouldn't. I've been here. I don't think your mom will pay until the deadline. And even if she will, what about next semester? Or something else important? You're NTA for telling your dad, but you're one for not telling him sooner. If he finds out you covered for your mom, he might be mad at you too, rightly so. Be completely honest to him and prepare for a changed relationship with both parents. Ops response, not gonna lie, she already did this too last year, even using the money I earned from doing art commissions to pay her debts. The only time I managed to use that money for myself was when I bought a gaming keyboard. I didn't really tell him at first since before she managed to recover it. It's just now that I can't really tolerate it now because I benefited from it before, though I know my faults. Commenter 2, that doesn't surprise me at all. Mind explaining how you benefited? I don't get that part, but maybe it's just my tired brain lol. Ops response, like, I'm actually not sure if this is called benefiting, but like her borrowed money makes me buy stuff, which I actually need, but still borrowed money she can't pay on time nonetheless. Commenter 3, wouldn't call that benefiting. If she was responsible with the money, she would buy it without problems. She spends the family's money on gambling and God knows what. Ops response, before COVID though it wasn't like this. It was only after COVID that money problems started happening. She borrowed money from online lending apps who have a huge interest in harassment, since she had COVID and things went down from there. Commenter 4, sorry that happened to her. I can only guess here, but maybe spending money is a coping mechanism after all the stress that happened. If your dad's income would be enough to support the family, of course. Ops response, the income was more than what our family needed, with a few excess for personal spending or such. But the reason why it doesn't seem so enough is because she's been using our budgets to pay the money she borrowed. And hence why I'm having this problem now. Commenter 5, tell your dad. It sounds like she may have a gambling addiction. Either way, it's financial abuse in my opinion. Your dad has a right to know what's happening with their money and to not be lied to. Ops response, I actually considered telling him multiple times, but I'm just afraid of what the consequences will be, as the last time this happened, they had a huge fight and Dad wanted an itemized list of expenses. It was only recently he went lax, and this is what happens. I actually gave her until 5 p.m. to settle it. Though I don't know if she'll be able to. I just want to cry thinking about it. Commenter 6, NTA. Talk to your college to see if they have any aid or emergency fees. Ops response, they don't accept promissory notes, and I've actually reserved the enrollment last week. We're given a week to settle that, and the spot will be given to others. Commenter 7, definitely NTA. Your father deserves to know the truth. Your mother definitely needs to be held accountable for her actions. If it means he'll never trust her with money ever again, then so be it. If your mother complains, tell her actions have consequences. Ops response: It's kinda hard to say that to mom since I'll be labeled as an ungrateful child. I live in a very religious Asian country. I don't want my family to be broken, but at the same time, I can't tolerate this anymore. Mini update in comments: My mom threatened me by saying if I tell my dad, there would be a huge fight and they might separate. And that dad won't want to see mom again. Update 1, 1 day later. Dad was doing his medical earlier and contract signing, hence why I wasn't able to tell him, didn't want to talk about it on the phone. The moment he got home, I immediately told him about the situation, and while he was not mad at me, I could sense his disappointment, which I understand. I explained the whole situation, and after that, he went to confront my mom via call, since we're in the city and my mom is at our hometown. After a bit of grilling, mom eventually confessed that aside from using the money to pay back the money she owed other people, she did use some for gambling in hopes of having a higher return, which unfortunately did not happen. They had a talk about it. I could sense that dad was holding back, and dad is now requesting a list of all the people she owed and how much, though she has yet to reply. Dad also managed to find a way to get the funds for my enrollment. Fortunately, it didn't become a reason for them to separate, though he has told me that he'd be sending the money directly to us, my siblings and I, from now on, especially our allowances. I have no idea regarding the bills and groceries. Anyway, thank you all so much for your insights, as it helped me make the right choice, which I did, and hopefully it helps mom to overcome her gambling and tendency to borrow from other people. I'd be reporting to school tomorrow and appeal if they could still slip me in an available slot, and will update. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, by any chance, are you Filipino? I know some people like your mom who ends up in huge debt from gambling, and borrowing money for gambling, to the point they'll lie about what they need the money for when borrowing. They won't stop, they'll manipulate, and they won't care about the consequences, even if it affects their loved ones. It's good your dad will now be sending the funds to you and your siblings, but just make sure the money is sent/kept safely in your own bank that your mom has no access to, and to only give her what she needs. It sucks that the responsibility to pay bills, buy groceries, and everything else will now fall on you guys, while juggling school, but I hope this will help keep your mom from borrowing. If she ever tries to again, learn to say no. And if possible, try to have her blacklisted from lending apps, though I know this is difficult. She might end up making you or your siblings co-borrowers without knowing. Ops response: Actually, yeah, I am Filipino. Regarding the other responsibilities, I have no worries since I can handle it. I'm used to paying my own bills since I started earning from digital art. It's only recently that I can't since I have no commissions. Additionally, dad told me to tell him if mom ever asks for money so he can monitor her, so yeah. Regarding the lending apps, kinda difficult since harassment and all, and they'll contact everyone in her contacts. I'm one of those, unfortunately. Commenter 2, how old are you, Op? It's not your responsibility to prevent fights between your parents. Your responsibility is to study, work hard, and make sure the money your dad is paying for your education is being maximized by you for that purpose. If they fight, it'll be because of your mom, not you. Ops response: I'm 20 and the eldest of 3 siblings. My sister is in grade 9 and my younger brother is in elementary. Update 2, 4 days later. I'd like to thank everyone for their responses, as it helped me see that my mom's behavior should have never been allowed to continue. I fully accept the criticisms about me and I know my wrongdoings. Second, I told my dad about the situation, and while he was mad at first for me not telling him earlier, well, not the angry type but disappointed type, he managed to find a way to secure the funds for my tuition fee. I also managed to get enrolled just this Saturday, though I missed 2 weeks' worth of lessons as well as an assessment. I spent the following days sending emails to my professors so I could catch up. Dad had a bit of talk with mom through a video call since mom is currently in our hometown while my dad and I are in the city. I study in the city while my dad was here for his documents and medical. He pressed on questioning her until it was revealed that she gambled the money in hopes of getting a high return to pay the money she owes to various people, as well as return the money that was supposed for my education. Now, some of you might be wondering why my dad would finance my college. I'm actually from the Philippines, so culture here is a bit different, as there would be parents who would work so they can send their kids to college, and my dad happens to be one of those. Anyway, I also told dad about the money she owed to my friends as well, and he found himself questioning why mom would borrow money when he would send most of his salary to us, which is admittedly more than enough if there had been no loans to pay. Since then, however, my younger sister told me that mom seemed down. Like she has no fight left in her and gave up completely. She was unusually quiet too. I have no idea what else is happening since she hasn't talked to me or dad ever since. I did send a message to my mom explaining why I did what I did, and I do ask about her to my siblings since she had deactivated her account. Hopefully, when she comes here to the city to switch with my dad, who will then look after my siblings before he has to work again, we can at least bring back some of that bond we had before the entire fiasco happened. Once again, thank you all so much for the kind and warm reception toward my dilemma, and I hope that none of you will go through what I experienced. Relevant comments. Commenter 1: You are definitely NTA. Your parents are though. He knew she had money issues and expected her to change without help? Really? Commenter 2: Did Ops say the mom never had help? Mom is the only jerk here based on the info we have. Ops response: Dad actually has reminded mom multiple times to stop gambling as no one ever really wins. It was only really after the pandemic that she started gambling more and more. She didn't even gamble except for when it's with my aunts, and that was in good fun and nothing serious. Commenter 3: She has a gambling addiction, it would take a lot more than a reminder.